Welcome to Kentucky Football Nation. Well, let's do a deep dive into our Week 1 opponent, the Toledo Rockets. Now, if you haven't seen my breakdown of their quarterback, Tucker Gleason, I just posted a video where we watched film on their quarterback, Tucker Gleason, against Mississippi State last year. Impressive quarterback. We're going to go over him, but if you didn't watch that video, go back because they crushed Mississippi State at home. I don't know whether Mississippi State just took them lightly or they just weren't ready to play or whatever, but Toledo just kicked their butt all over the field. And that quarterback is a dual threat quarterback. I mean, he can run and he can pass. He could play in the SEC. He could start for a couple of teams, ours being one of them. That's how good he is. But let's look at the Toledo Rockets. Game 1, August 30th. Cannot take these guys lightly. Just start off by saying, if you let these guys hang around like we did Eastern Kentucky and a couple other teams over the years, if you let these guys hang around the fourth quarter and you ask that Tucker Gleason to lead them on a game-winning drive, he's capable of leading them on a game-winning drive. Let's talk about their coach, Jason Candle. He's been there 9 seasons. Really good coach, 2016 to the present. His MAC record is 47-23. Overall, he's 73-40. Very good coach, long tenured in the MAC. Last year, they were 8-5. They had a really good year. Like I said, they won at Mississippi State. If you watch the bowl game they played in against Pitt, both teams had 400 yards of offense, and they beat Pitt 48-46. I did watch that game. That was a good game. Like I said, you give this guy time to throw, and you give that offense a chance, they're going to score. So they put 48 on Pitt. I think they put 40 on Mississippi State. So you can't take them lightly. So yes, their coach is very well experienced. This is not a new guy. So last year, let's talk about their stats last year. Total offense, they were 86th in the nation, which was ahead of us. Of course, a lot of people were ahead of us. They averaged 371 yards a game. 254 yards passing, which was 140th, and 117 rushing, which was 215th. So they're not going to run the ball down your throat, but they are going to pass the ball. Their defense was 54th. They allowed 360 yards per game. They allowed 4.9 yards a play. They gave up 207 yards passing a game and 150 yards rushing a game, with a 3.7 yard per rush average. This is where we should get them, guys. Their defense is not going to be as good as it was last year, and they gave up a lot of points last year. So we need to just jump on these guys and run the ball right down their throat and don't give them any hope in the fourth quarter. Now, their leading rusher returns, Carr Wallendak, but they also picked up Chip Trainum from Kentucky last year. He broke his hand after the 5th game for us, and he ended up going to Toledo. I'm sure he's going to get more playing time. So we know who Chip Trainum is. They struggled last year offensively in short yardage situations. Now, their wide receiver room, let's talk about that. If we broke down that film and you go back and look, a couple of their wide receivers are coming back. They're really good. In fact, I put down wide receiver room is excellent. They signed Trayvon Rudolph from Northern Illinois. He's one of their better receivers. And the guy they got coming back, Junior Vanderos, is their leading wide receiver. And he was the leading wide receiver in the MAC last year. And Pitt couldn't cover him. Mississippi State couldn't cover him. So we need to cover Mr. Vanderos. Whoever he is, you'll see him. He sticks out on film. You're like, who's that guy running past everybody? Yeah, he can catch long ones. So we're going to have to stop their wide receivers. Key to that is getting some sort of pass rush on. I put Tucker Gleason can play in the SEC. Yeah, he's that good. Go back on, like I said, if you haven't watched my video where we broke down the film, not only did he do that to Mississippi State, he did that to everybody last year. So he's good. Now I actually got these notes. I went on a Mac football channel. And I was listening to them break down Toledo, so they knew what they were talking about. Their offensive line should be average this year. They brought in 5 transfers. They had many injuries last year. So yeah, their offensive line, kind of like ours, it's going to be a makeshift offensive line. Guys, we got to get a pass rush on this guy. Like I said, we can't give him time to run. And so hopefully with their offensive line having 5 new players, although this coach is experienced, we need to make sure that we get in this guy's face. Now on defense, their one Achilles heel last year, they gave up big yardage on running plays, which plays right into our hand because we're going to run the ball, and they couldn't stop the run. So yeah, their defensive line is going to be physical this year. They said their linebackers, that's their weakness. They're below average. They don't have any good linebackers. So let's get into the linebackers. Defensive backs are just average. They lost several players to graduation, and they have a lot of backups that are going to be returning, and the backups are now going to be starters. So hopefully, like I said, their defense is not going to be that good. What would you say? They were ranked 54th last year. I mean, that's not bad. But yeah, we need to just get physical with them and, run the ball right down their throat. Questions for 2025. Linebackers. I just said that. Linebackers are a big concern because there's no experience in their linebacking core. And the offensive line needs to gel. Hey, I hope it gels after game 1 because I hope it doesn't gel in game 1. Their strengths. I already talked about wide receivers. Guys, they got some good wideouts. Like I said, that returning guy we were just talking about, he's a handful. So I'm sure, Brad White would be ready for him. Their secondary is much like our team. Their strength is their secondary. And, of course, their quarterback, guys. He's a real deal. I mean, he might get drafted. I mean, he might be a late round draft. But, hey, if he has a good year this year, I think Roethlisberger was from the MAC. There's been some quarterbacks from the MAC that have played in the NFL. I'm not saying he's that right now, but he could be a late round pick. Now, they're big. They play 2 big D1 games, Kentucky and Washington State. So they're projected to go 8-4. Now, like I said, they're a good team. You can't take them lightly. We are 11.5-point favorite, I think, on FanDuel in Vegas right now. So, we should be able to – we should cover that. I mean, there's no need to have these guys hanging around. Let's just get the first win out of the way and get it going. All right, guys. Like I said, if you haven't watched my Tucker Gleason video, go back and watch that. I'm going to do each game one at a time. If the quarterback, there's some quarterbacks I can't preview, like Ole Miss or there's no film on him. He's a new quarterback. Simmons, I think is his name. We'll talk about him. But the quarterbacks that we play twice, like, DJ Lagway, South Carolina's quarterback, we'll review the quarterback, watch some film on him first, and then do the team. There's just some teams we can't do that. But I will do one game at a time. Once again, guys, if you're watching this channel and you haven't subscribed, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 500. Before the first game on August 30th. 500 subscribers means I can still go live, but when you get to 500, they allow you to do more things, polls, stuff like that. Also, if you're new, I do have a shorts portion of my channel where we show UK football and basketball players, mostly football players from the past. Hey guys, Ole Miss coming up next. Thanks for watching.